Welcome to the Gin Weekly Update for Friday, May 25th, 2018. I'm Joel Yaste. We'll get to Dr. Tom and your lesson of the week, plus a great tribute coming up. But first, a couple of home office announcements for you. The Sip of Gin, more importantly, the Sip of Gin email, is kind of revamped for you. If you've signed up for the email for the Sip of Gin in the past and aren't getting that email, please send us an email, support@ginunited.com, and put in the subject line, Sip of Gin, with your email address that you would like to use, and we will sign you up for that once again. And speaking of the Sip of Gin, here is some of that motivation from this past week. Sip of Gin for Wednesday, May 23rd, 2018. The love song comes on the radio, and the singer sings, "Look what you've done to me," and "See what you made me do," and "What have I become, all because of you." The guitar strums and the piano plinks. There may even be an orchestral string or a choir. It's poetic and beautifully sad, almost romantic. The protagonist in the song is hurt by the actions of someone else who had dreams of their own. Take responsibility for your own love. Nobody is going to do anything for you. People are different, and love is a give and a take. Yet we act as if someone is out there to follow our own wishes. Do you know what is romantic? The person who decides that they don't need any one person to make them happy. If they do find love, that is also amazing. But the 5-second miracle is taking 100% responsibility for your life. Be accountable for your love, and your life, and your job, and your happiness. The scary thing is that it's all on you. The amazing, wonderful news is that it's all on you. Be inspired by your empowerment. And now, with that tribute and the lesson of the week, here is Dr. Tom Morter. Dr. Tom?
Hello, I'm Dr. Tom, and I would like to congratulate you for being in Gin. And I'd like to congratulate you on the number of views and the number of likes and the number of shares that you have utilized over the last several weeks on Facebook. You are getting our message out. The club message is reaching more people than it ever has. Hundreds of people are now becoming entrenched and ingrained, actually have access to this incredible training, this spectacular training. As a matter of fact, those of you who are at the level 6 level, a very upper level of this club, be sure you have been watching for an email to come either from the club or from Joe Mello. I made reference to it last week. This week we're giving a little more information on that, on some exciting news, some spectacular developments that are happening as a result of applying. Now, you've heard me talk about applying these principles, well, almost every time I speak of them. And the reason for that is because when you apply them, as opposed to listen to them, read them, think about them, contemplate on them, when you apply them, when you actually do what we talk about in the training, spectacular things come your way. Spectacular events happen. They happen to you, they happen for you, they happen around you, they happen with those that you're hanging out with, they happen for all of you at those levels if you will apply that information. If you've not yet received it, or if it went to spam or kicked out, if you haven't seen it, contact support at ginunited.com, contact a fellow level 6 member, contact someone to say, what's the story, what's going on? Because our training works, and to that end, we've added some training in Chicago. We have added a youth class. This is going to be on Saturday morning, and it will be for ages 10 to 17. Now, this ticket at $197, at a reduced price point, this ticket for the youth, for your family members, or for those of you who are bringing children, maybe a nephew, a niece, a cousin, someone in that age group, we're going to put on a special, you know, this club is so giving, and it's just amazing to me what's happened, and we've had volunteers to step forward to say, I'll teach that class.
Yes, Aaron and Meg are going to teach the class on Saturday morning
From 9 to 12, a special class, kind of a kickoff session, if you will, to begin to develop the live training portion of the youth program. Now, on that ticket, they will also, those youth will be allowed to come to the Friday night. I mean, this is a ticket for the whole weekend. This is the Friday night event. Saturday, they'll be in a special training by themselves. And then Saturday night in the banquet, in the dinner, can you imagine what it would have been like if you, when you were 10 or 12 or 15 years old, were able to sit in a room of Gen members, Gen brothers and sisters, sharing that experience and the laughter and the love and the hugging and the feeling, the vibration, the energy, all of those things that happen on Saturday night? Can you imagine how that would have impacted your life at a young age, and how many more times you'd have been thankful and grateful and appreciative for the events that have taken place in your life? And how many more times you'd have thought when something appeared to be going against you or a challenge, how you'd have said, man, I'm learning, this is good. I'm learning something for me. Things that I think are the worst thing that are happening to me are actually a blessing in disguise. I don't even understand it at this point, and that's okay. I don't need to understand everything about my future. I need to understand my present. I need to understand my now. And to be able to apply these principles throughout your life, how many more people could we have impacted? How many more lives could we have affected? How many more people could we have actually brought into this feeling? The feeling of Gen, the family of Gen. And to that end, we also are releasing this week the next in the series of the communication webinars. For those of you that either received those or purchased those, that next event will be out this week. It's coming to you. And of course, this one is on the communication topic of persuasion. A master communicator, Dave Lacani, did a webinar for you, for this club, to assist you in your communication skills and your persuasive skills, which is different than manipulation. This is persuasion. This is how to communicate better. This is how you can get your point across. Whether it's at work or whether it's with your family, whether it's with a spouse in a relationship, makes no difference. The basics and the fundamentals are there. Thank you, Dave, for your contributions to this club and your continuing efforts to help us grow and to be a more powerful club. We also wanted to talk about a word this week, and I heard this word a couple of days ago, and it's a word I've heard many, many times. It's a very simple word, yet it was a word that for this particular time, in this unit of time, I heard it differently. And the word was enjoy. And I began to think, what does enjoy mean? And enjoy, it might mean you like something, you love something, you're moved by something, you're amused by something, you're entertained by something. Maybe it's that you appreciate something. Remember the bit about being thankful and grateful and appreciative? To enjoy something. And then I thought, and it hit me, to enjoy something is to be in joy. To be in the feeling and the emotion and the energy and the vibration and the frequency of joy. Enjoy. So when you say enjoy something, what you're really your intention there is for someone to be in a state of joy, to be in joy. It's the early derivatives of the word. Look it up, study it. To give joy is where it actually originated, to give joy. To be able to give to someone the feeling, the resonance, the frequency of joy. What do you do in your daily life? What do you do every day that brings you joy? How do you work joy into your morning routine? How do you work joy into your daily activities? How do you take a moment for you? You see, you're going to be alive all day. And so why don't we work joy into that day? Thankfulness, gratefulness, appreciation, love. Work those feelings in. I do it personally. I do it first thing in the morning. When I do a mortar march, when I work a positive feeling, a joyful situation into my being right off the bat. When I take my supplements, I am in a state of joy. I'm thankful, I'm grateful, I'm appreciative. As I'm taking them, that's the energy I create. because it's important, and I understand how important those little tiny, minute steps are. What do you do at the end of your day that reflects upon your day, that focuses on the positive, that puts you in a state of joy? What do you do? If you're not doing anything, if you think, well, wow, I never thought of it like that. I never heard the word like that. That's okay. Now you have. So now you can. Now you can move forward. You have permission. You've always had it. You've always had the ability to understand the feeling of joy inside you, and now maybe it's just opened up. What a glorious day. What a perfect moment for you to be in joy. You know, this weekend we have a spectacular holiday here in the United States, and I know that this day is honored in many countries around the world. It's Memorial Day here, and Memorial Day is a time to salute those who have served. And I want to do a special shout out to the men and women in all countries, all over the world, for their service and their sacrifice. Some of them, the ultimate sacrifice. For all, it's not just the sacrifice of the person in the services, in the armed forces, it's the sacrifices of their families and their children and the generations to come. And you know, really the beauty of that is that sacrifice allows others to be in a state of joy. The giving of your time, energy, efforts, and sometimes the ultimate sacrifice of your life, so that others can have more. So when you pass someone, you know, Dr. Ted and I have talked about this, and Blaine as well, about how when we all travel a lot, and when we're traveling and when we're in an airport, or you can do this anywhere. I just happen to do this a lot in airports. And I see someone that's serving their country, I'll buy their lunch, buy them dinner. Sometimes it's anonymously, sometimes they know who's doing it, and I acknowledge that, but it's not about me, it's about them. It's about being thankful and being in joy for what they are doing. When do you do that in your life? It doesn't have to be monetary. Maybe it's just a simple thank you. Maybe it's just a stop and a look in their eye. So much of it is unspoken when you move into this posture and this zone. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for what you do that allows others to be in a state of joy. I sincerely hope you enjoy your weekend. Until next week, I'm Dr. Tom. Have a great week.
Thank you, Dr. Tom, for that excellent tribute. That's the weekly update for Friday, May 25th, 2018. I'm Joel Yaste. I'll see you again next week.